So it's time for the 6th episode in the course. This one we're going to cover anatomy and backup plans. We're going to talk about, do you have the anatomy or what to look for or what we're looking for? And hey, what would be a good backup plan? Coming up next on New to Piercing, episode number 43. For those who are new here, welcome to the Body Piercing and Tattooing channel. Hope you're enjoying the videos. Hope you find it helpful and useful, but you may not know who I am. My name is DaVo. I'm a professional body piercer and have been since 1994. I own and operate the Axiom Body Piercing studio located right here in Des Moines, Iowa, inside Skin Kitchen Tattoo. Now, anatomy is the shape of your body. We all have it. We're all unique in various different ways. It's why our facial structure looks different. It's why our ears look different. It's why our body looks different. And anatomy is very important when it comes to piercings. Some anatomies are suitable to get pierced. Some are not. And you need to rely on your piercer to make that decision. What anatomy will do is determine whether or not the piercing is going to be successful or not, if the piercing should be done in the first place, where the piercing is going to be placed. When I say placed, is where it's going to be located. The angle of the piercing that it needs to be done at. The jewelry that can actually be worn in that piercing. Is there room for it, etc.? The durability of that piercing. Is it going to last a long time, or is it going to be one of those piercings where it's constantly going to get knocked or snagged or just plain reject? And if additional piercings can be done in that area. When we're looking at anatomy, we're kind of looking at a couple of different things. We want something that protrudes from the body for more traditional piercings that has kind of two sides to it. I know a lot of people will refer to eyebrows as surface-to-surface piercings and a lot of genitals as surface-to-surface piercings, and they're kind of the exception. But if you really kind of pay attention, the brow does protrude from the body on a lot of people. So it does kind of have two sides. It's just a very shallow hill. Some are taller, some are more shallow. Some are cliffs on both sides. So it's important that that exists, that it can be done through it. The other thing that's important when we're looking at anatomy is there enough of it to fit that jewelry in there? If it's too shallow or too small, that jewelry's going to be too close to the surface, which may create a situation where it's easy for your body to reject it, or if it does get torn or has some, if it does get snagged, could tear easily through the area. The other thing we look at with anatomy is how that piercing is actually going to present itself in there. It's really important that you have a piercing that fits into the area and fits into what we refer to as the flow of that area, that it looks natural. It looks like you were born with it. There are various different versions. Piercings kind of go from the extreme of, I have a piercing, to I have a piercing. It's just the way the nature of the industry is and the nature of the jewelry and etc. But a lot of that has more to do with the jewelry than it does the placement and the type of piercing. So when it comes to anatomy, and I have a lot of questions on here on a regular basis, well, how can I check that at home? Not always. You really need to visit a piercer and have them do it for you. The other thing is don't keep going to different piercers until you find somebody that goes, yeah, I'll do it. Because chances are if 5 piercers said no and the one guy said yes or gal or whatever, that's not the person you want to be pierced by. It's probably one of the other 5. Now let's talk about backup plans. Backup plans is, hey, I'm going in to get this piercing done, but if I can't get it because of anatomy, what's something else I can get done? Piercings that are more common are best for this. For example, if you're thinking about getting, a Dave piercing, which really relies on your anatomy. If you can't get the Dave piercing, what is a second choice? Maybe a helix, because you know helix is heel. Maybe a stacked earlobe. Maybe a flat. Maybe a forward helix. Something else. So you kind of want to stick with things that are more common. Don't come in and go, I want an industrial. Then find out when you can't get that. Then you want an orbital, and you can't get that. So then you're going, oh, I want a snug. Because those piercings are not good choices in most cases. Even with the best anatomy, they're a real challenge to heal. But it's pretty rare that anybody is going to have the anatomy for everything. So always have a real common piercing that's easy for, most people have it. Most people have the ability to do it. Like a nostril, for example. Most people have a nostril. The other thing is it should be a piercing that you're going to probably desire in the future or you've desired in the past. Yes, this is your number one goal, the thing you're going in for. But if there's something else that you've been thinking about for a while, add that as a backup plan. The next thing you want to consider is you want something that is going to be easy to heal and not really complicated. For example, if you go in and you want to get your eyebrow done, and you are one of those people that doesn't have that meaty brow, and the person says, no, I don't feel comfortable doing this, you don't really have the anatomy for it, and they go, okay, then I want an industrial. Because the industrial is going to be harder to heal, and probably there's a slimmer chance you're going to have the anatomy for that one. So pick something that's common, something that's easy to heal, etc., that you know isn't going to be a huge hassle. And lastly, something that has a great high success rate. Don't pick an experimental piercing because you can't get the other experimental piercing. Chances are is you're going to fail at both of those. That, and I really, really wouldn't advise that being your first piercing in the first place. So what are some other hints maybe you thought of that should have been on here? Please leave a comment. If you have any questions about anything I talked about or anything else, please leave a comment. Or you can always have your question answered live on our stream every Monday from 8 p.m. till about 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Me and my apprentice Scott sit down and talk about piercing. That's why it's called Talk About Piercing. Live. And we answer viewer questions. Just got to chat it out. Till next time, here's hoping your piercing skill with ease and without a single issue. And if you're in the Des Moines, Iowa area, I would love to see if your piercing needs in the future. Have a good day, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you in that next video.